Hey, what is up guys, it's your boy Tway here. Today we will be talking about my account being, well, it says 1100 hours, but it also seems to be taking the hours where I'm AFK and the button still shows up. But let's say a 1,000 hour plus account and what it looks like. I will be going over what I got, where I got it, how I got it, but also where my next aim is going to be. So without further ado, let's start off with the most important things. What am I rocking? Currently Gunslinger main account on 1405. I haven't really pushed her at all because let's face it, after 1400 all the upgrades become drastically insane when it comes to success rate, and I found that getting my other characters to 1370 was not just very good for money, but also a lot of fun. Having an extra Argos on all of these characters to do every single week, it gives you a lot of money, but it also gives you gameplay in return. So although it costs a little bit, it is also really good. Now, to answer a question straight away, am I pay to win? In a sense, maybe. You guys be the judge. I bought myself a bronze founder pack, and then I somehow persuaded myself buying this new outfit, not thinking about the fact that there are a lot of materials hidden within this pack. Funny enough, all of the materials so far got my Glavier from a 1340 to a 1365, and my luck was absolutely horrendous on top of it. This could have been 1370 if I was a little bit lucky. Now I made a conscious decision to leave one of my characters at 1310 because I got 7 of them, which means that only 6 of them will be granting yourself the goal for the abyss dungeons and the raids. And another conscious decision on a paladin being at 1325. Reason why? Because you can already find a party for the 1340 abyssal dungeon. Now, if I have to give you guys a tip, it is very good to have yourself at least one support onto your account. Reason why? If I get this paladin up to 1370 or 1385, I will be able to do Argos P2 or P3 because this game doesn't have enough supports. People don't like to play it, or there's just not enough of them. Which means that the demand is super high, and the only thing that supports need to do is heal or shield or at least survive whatever to help the team out. Which at the end of the day just means less investment, more rewards, which is obviously great. Now, looking at these characters that are currently 1370, the real question is how do I get them there free to play? Now, the system that I've been using was relatively the same for any single one of these alts, and especially the Una task allowed me to get a head start on all of my characters. So what I ended up doing, I did the Kinsira Memorial Service, and I did the Frozen Sea and the Lake of Eternity on each and every last one of these characters. Do that for a month's worth. You will have 8 times 32 leap stones. Put that on top of all of the boss rush tickets that you will be acquiring, and you will have about 500 to 600 leap stones that you can then be using instead of just buying the leap stones for absolute progress. By that time, my main account got to about 1400, and then I decided to say my first character that has about 500 to 600 leap stones will be funneled onto the next, so they can get themselves to 1370. And the reason why I pushed them to 1370 wasn't necessarily just for the money purposes, but also for a reason where you get a lot of great engravings, and I think 1370 is where a lot of classes start out to shine more than it did before. So in turn, the gameplay became way better. So what I found, once again, TLDR, I parked all of these alts at 1340 and wait until they got 500 to 600 leap stones, funnel all of the materials that I got at that point. So funny enough, by the time I parked these characters at 3040, they already had a lot of bound leap stones, and it took me 2 weeks to get all 3 characters to a 1370. As for the rest of the things, we got roster level 131. I still have a few characters that I haven't even done tower on, so this could have been probably 135. If I look at the amount of skill potions that I have, if you open up Alt D, for the people that don't know, you can check skill point potion, and it will show you which one you already have and the ones that you don't. And what you will find on my account is that I'm only lacking 1, and that is the biggest one of all, the Ignia tokens. Speaking about collectibles, I've been neglecting a lot of them, and I was focusing on some of them. Let me emphasize on that. I haven't done many of the island hearts, even though the stories are all great. I'm one of these players that just G's through pretty much every single one of the contents. As for the giant heart, the only one that I still got to do is Sasha. I already know about the cutscene, and I'm not willing to look at that. You have websites for this, ladies and gentlemen. Damn it! I got mad lucky on the Omnium stars. I got the Moaka in one go. It took me about 20 tries on the Anguish Island, which is actually average because I heard that the drop rate was about 5%. The other ones are quite easy to get with the previous events, so didn't take me that much time. As for the masterpieces, we currently got the way card. I still gotta hand it in. My way is it's already 2, and we got 1 extra, so that is looking great. I haven't been focusing on this that much unless I really felt like I wanted to have that extra gold, so I want to have 1 more masterpiece to get the 13k gold lead. As for the Mokoko seeds, I started gathering some of them. So the method that I started using is, if there is an island that I have to go to, I open up max roll. I actually check if there are any Mokoko seeds. I get those, but I don't travel to find Mokoko seeds. I get that people want to do this, but if I look at the overall rewards, the only thing that I really want are the Stronghold people to get some more rewards from that. But outside of it, I see no benefit. Ignia tokens, I haven't gotten a single one of these, and truth be told, I think this is one of the last priorities that I have. Obviously, the skill potion would be quite great. It's still 6 skill points, but like I said, I don't really feel like it, because if I open my adventurer tome, this is what it basically looks like. The only thing that I ended up doing is focus on the report to get some of the easier skill potions. One thing that I found interesting was the world tree leaves, and I ended up focusing from the start on excavation, make a lot of money out of it until there was a tipping point with the event where all of the items just plummeted on the market. So I just said, let's leave this. I ended up going for fishing afterward because it was then really profitable to do this, but we're also coming at a point where the market is getting pretty saturated. The only thing that is interesting is that my Stronghold has a lot of side benefits, which still allows me to make a profit out of that. One of the reasons why I tried getting this leveled up was the fact of the silent citrine. If you get this thing up, the chances of you getting more base items is absolutely humongous. So if you guys want to have an incentive to do it, get this Feint or Charm, get it to the gold level, and you will get more basic reward bonus. As for the sea bounties, haven't focused on these at all. There is one big incentive that I would like to get, and that is this wealth rune. So that is something that I will be aiming for on the next couple of months, and that will be the wealth rune. It will be great for my striker. It will be so massive. Then coming up is something that I like and don't like at the same time, and that will be the card catalog. My Lost Wind Cliff set is almost done. I'm currently at plus 11, and the only thing that I need is a Carmine dupe or an Armand dupe. I could be using my card selectors, but knowing how rare these things are, I'm not going to use them. Because let's face it, I'm already completing all content. Why would I want to do a little bit more damage, get a little bit more MVP for what? More rewards? Faster time clearing? Nah. Not gonna help me at all. The Light of Salvation is starting to look good as well. I got myself an extra Nineveh dupe, got a Balthor dupe in there, and we got another Wade dupe in. As for the completion collection bonus, I'm not sure if this is much, but it starts looking quite nicely. If I look to one of my other videos where I shown this, it still increases every single month. Another thing that I got is my Stronghold to level 41, and one of the reasons why I got this way is because it gave me a lot of money in the process. If I press Control 1, if I look at my workshop, what I ended up doing is make a lot of items. We started off with a lot of archaeological maps. Knowing that the money actually depleted once the event came around, I ended up stopping building these and ended up going for the basic Oriha fusion materials. Ended up sending them for about 10 to 20% margin. But at some point the market got saturated on these basic Oriha fusion materials, and I went and ended up going for these simple Oriha fusion materials, because what I found in the market is that whenever Glavia came out, and I'm suspecting that this will happen the moment Destroy comes out as well, is that these things are so high in demand and so easy to sell because everybody and their mother are building new characters. So with that being said, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the developments will be once the Destroy comes out as well. And we never know. Reason why is because these events are ridiculous. But now we're coming up at a thing that matters most, where I'm going to focus on next. First of all, I want to get my Glavia to at least 1370, and at that point I will have 5 characters to do Argos with and have a lot of fun with it in the long run. My biggest question was, am I going to get my Paladin up to 1370 or even 1385 so he can do Argos P3, get me a lot of money on the process? But I found myself not liking my Paladin as much, knowing how much investments that all of these characters do need to get to 1370 or even higher. Because if I look in the future, there's a few characters that I want to have. I'm super drawn to the new Destroyer and the new Destroyer update. If I look at Reaper, that is going to be my main. I've been yelling this from the get-go. But to get to that point, I also need to make a conscious decision on which characters of these I will leave out at some point. So let's face it, I'm going to get my Gunslinger to 1315 the moment Valton comes out, and I'm going to try and get another one of these characters to 1315 as well. I'm not very sure which one of them are going to be yet, because I started falling in love with my Striker, which is currently on an esoteric build, which I will be showing into the future in another video separately. But my one true love is going to be Scrap. I really enjoy this class. I love pressing buttons like a madman, looking like an angry toddler, stomping everything in the ground, and getting MVP on top of it. It is absolutely ridiculous. So that is it for my account tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, any specific things you want me to highlight, please put it down into the comments. Let me know, and I will be making a separate video on those. That being said, have a very great day, and I'll see you guys into the next one. Peace.